Greetings everyone, this is Muhammad Fahim bin Amin, the team leader for our project LMS Desktop. Our team is the team trial. So this was our project. Actually, we have implemented some replicated feature from all known Moodle service. The Moodle which we use at our university, United International University, we call that LMS. And we were thinking about creating some desktop applications so that we can maintain and utilize our tasks which we normally do in the LMS. We can do that using our desktop application as well. So we were thinking about cloning that existing LMS online portal, and replicating that into a desktop application which you can run from your Windows machine, from your Mac machine, and from your Linux machine as well. As Java is a cross-platform language, so we can do that easily. And after completing that project, here you can see the project right now. And after completing this project, I have tested it on Windows machine and on my Linux machine. As I don't own a Mac device right now, so I haven't been able to test it in a Mac machine, but I'm sure that it would work just fine as it works in Windows and Linux machine. So first of all, let me simply open my main application. This is the main landing page. You can say that main landing page of our desktop application. And if I simply give you a brief description of what are the audiences or the users of our this project, they would be student, faculty, and admin. Yes, we are targeting that three groups of people. Admin, which is on the hierarchy, and then comes faculty, who gives courses and something like that for students, and then the lower hierarchy is the student. All right, so this is simply button which indicates which portal should be opened or something like that, like this admin and faculty. Then yeah, I can revert back using the home button, but I'm not doing that right now because this is a tedious task to do. This type of linking another pages through buttons is very simple task, so that's not the goal of our project to show you right now. All right, so first of all, let me simply open my database. Yeah, we have used MySQL database, and this is the database. And if I simply apply some reverse engineering to show you our ERD diagram, that would be something like this. And this is the ERD diagram: LMS data table, course table, student sign up table, faculty table, department. We haven't joined the tables together using a join or something like that, but I have used different method, like we have fetched the data and we have tried to match the data with the significant column and significant data. Then we try to fetch the data in our database or where we would like to have them based on our necessity. All right, so there goes the ERD diagram, and I have already showed you the main application. Then let me start from the hierarchy. All right, so that would be the admin. So first of all, this is the admin landing page, and for this project, for now, I have simply created one admin to manage all of the tasks from his end. So let's see the user ID and password like this, and if I simply submit it, I get the admin panel. So let's see what we have here. This is a simple admin panel, or you can say admin control panel, and here we have added a slider button. Here we see dashboard, site home, UCAM, code search, calculator, private file, and settings. From settings, you can do some normal things like changing your profile picture, changing your name, if you have got the access or so, like that. And here this UCAM doesn't open any new application. It simply directs you to the web version of UCam. Let me simply do that for you. UCam, if I simply click on UCam, it takes me to the UCam. I have simply linked that UCam link to this button. That's it. And here we have also added a cute calculator, which also matches with the appearances of the portal. I think this looks pretty nice, but that's not our concern because this is not our main project, as you can see. All right. So I'm not gonna go to all of the details what we have here, because this is not the part of our main project. The part of our main project would be something like student data and faculty data from the admin console, or you can say in the admin control panel, not console. Obviously, if the admin simply go to the student data, he would get two options right here. One of them is approved students and the other of them is registered students. Now let me simply describe what each of them does. All right, so here's in this approved students, you would get the data of which students have already got the approval and some details of them, like their IDs, their names, their emails, their passwords, and the status whether they are okay to access their LMS application or they are being blocked. All right, so let me simply show you some short demonstration of how it works. Don't worry about the data because we have simply entered some random value, like some dummy data, you can say that. So let me simply change the student's name from here. The current name is something like HGASJD or something like that. If I simply click change, this is the existing data. Let me change it to new name just to show you how it works. Save and refresh. You see the name has been changed. Yeah, I know that I can do the refresh thing after changing them automatically, but I wanted to show you whether the data is getting changed or not, and therefore I haven't added the refresh method inside the change button. I have added a separate button refresh so that I can show you what the data was earlier, and if I simply click on refresh, the data is getting changed and saved right like that. All right, now let's say this user has been blocked, but I want to give the access back to it. So how can I do that? I can simply click on change and I can click these check marks. Okay, save. This is currently blocked. If I simply refresh it, you see it's getting green. It's okay. That means this user has got the access to access the LMS portal from his end. All right. And if I simply want to delete one, I can obviously do that. Simply click here and delete. The user has got deleted like this. And here you can simply export the data into an Excel file. This is a pretty common task to do, so I'm not gonna show you all of the export data or something like that. So here I can simply close this, and let me simply open the student data again. Here I want to register some new students, so I can simply go to register students, and here obviously we have got the refresh button, we have got the export data if we want to export the data to an Excel sheet, and here I have got the add button. All right, and we have also made that the same primary numbers won't get duplicated here. So if you enter some data like some IDs or name, sorry, the student ID and student email has got the primary values. So if you enter any existing data, it would show you that the data is already being existed. Let me show you that. Let's say 011201112 sorry, 011201112, and student name blah blah blah, email blah 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 @gmail.com, student password blah blah blah. Save it. It tells you that you cannot add this new student because a record with this email or ID already exists in the database. Please enter a unique email or ID. We have used the default alert pop-up message right here, so therefore we didn't need to create any separate alert window or something like that. Yeah, I know that we have already created the separate window for giving alert or pop-up message, but I thought that as we can already access the default alert thing, so why don't we use that, right? And let's say I'm simply going to exit here. You see that this is generating the cache data here, but if we simply click the refresh button, the cache data got disappeared. I know this is I mean, we can consider this as a small fault. I was thinking about working on it, but as we haven't got the time to do so, so I have kept it like this. So I would recommend you to click the refresh button to get the updated data. Let's say I'm simply gonna add a new student. Let's say the student ID is something like 011259684, something like that. Student name, let's say new student. Email, let's say new student 9875@gmail.com. Student password, something like this. And if I simply give the student status okay and save, you see the new students have appeared, but the cache data has also appeared. If I simply refresh it, the cache data gets disappeared. I was thinking about working on the cached data refresh thing, but I'm not sure whether I would do that because the project show has already ended and I don't have any plan to work on this existing project right now. All right, so there goes the admin control panel for the student section. All right, and let me simply go to the faculty section. Here, if I simply go to the faculty section, I get the entire faculty database. Here I can add new faculties, I can delete the existing faculty, I can change their data, I can export data to Excel sheet, and here I can refresh the database table. All right, so let's say I'm simply gonna add a new faculty like Abir Hassan sir. Faculty email something like abirhassan@gmail.com. Faculty password, let's say 1111. Course code, let's say I'm gonna give a course code like 256, and course name, let's say triple E 101, something like that. Course section, let's say D. Save, refresh. Here you see the data. If I want to change the data, let's say I'm gonna simply click change, and then I'm gonna change the password something like 5555. Save, 5555. All right, and let's say I'm gonna delete this data for now. So if I simply click delete, it gets deleted. If I click the refresh button, it won't appear again because the database is getting updated continuously. All right, so I can simply exit this, and here you can export the data into Excel format. Here you can store your private files data, but unfortunately for some reason it was working earlier, but after I merge that branch in which branch we were working on to our master branch, it got something messed up and we can't show you the private files right now. But if I want to give you a brief description of how it was, here was a window and it showed the existing data we had in our file storage, and we could have removed the data, we could have added the new data to this file storage or something like that. It was working earlier, but as I told you, after we merged the existing branch into our production branch, it got messed up. And as usual, as our project show is ended, I'm not sure whether I would gonna fix it later or something like that. So that's it. I'm simply gonna close this for now, and I can simply close the admin panel. All right, and one more thing, let me show you our file storage. And this is the file storage. This file storage is for the admin. Here we could store some text file, text data, and if we open the window, we could have seen these text files. I know these text files doesn't contain any data because we haven't used them. We simply try to check whether it can store the text file, retrieve them, or add new text file in it or not. So that's how it was working earlier. And we created separate file storage admin, file storage faculty, file storage student, something like that. But as I have just told you, it's not working right now. So let me simply avoid this term for now, and let me simply go to our faculty section, and from here, this is our faculty LMS. All right, before going to the faculty LMS, let me simply show you the faculty landing. Here you get the faculty landing, and after giving your email and password, if it matches with our databases, we can enter into our faculty landing page. All right, so let me simply, sorry, faculty LMS page. All right, and here we get this window, this nice slider button. Here we have also included the UCAM. If you simply click on UCAM, it would take you to the UCAM web version. All right, and code search doesn't work right now. calculator, this nice calculator thing, private file settings, contact sheets. If you click on contact sheets, it would open your default email manager so that you can email your sheets like that. And here I have also kept a Meet thing. Here, if you simply click on open, it would open the Meet in your browser. You can update the Meet link and update it to your database. But I haven't actually integrated this Meet link to database right now. So to be honest, you won't be able to update your current Meet link right now. All right, and these private files works like earlier. You can store the data into your file storage faculty, and you can also manage which data you have kept. If you want to delete any data or if you want to add any data to your file storage, you can do that. But this doesn't actually work right now, so I'm not gonna show you and waste your time. Let me simply go to the classroom. If I simply go to our classroom, I can select my course name. You see that if you don't select your course name, you won't get the drop down menu for this section. All right, so let's say ICS, and let's say the section is A for this faculty. And if I simply load the data, and here you get the LMS data, the date, the content, whether you want to send a notification to your students, notes. This notes is actually for you. It won't get displayed to the students end. For this send notification section, I have added a third-party module, and that is train notification. You can find that on GitHub, on YouTube as well. That's pretty simple to integrate into your existing project actually. So for now, let's say I want to update this content, so I can simply click here and update the new date on project show. So let me simply update it to something like new date after the project show. All right, if I simply save, you see the data has been updated, new data after projection. And let's say I want to delete this new material submitted. I am simply deleting it like this. And if I want to add new data, let's say add date 18, new data, notification on, note nothing, save, new data. Here it is. All right, and let me simply show you the students end for now. If I simply minimize it, and let me simply open a student window, student classroom window. So here's the student classroom window. If I simply go to ICS and A section, load, you see the data which I have just added from my faculty course view, it has been added to student course view. Let me show you whether it works on the real time or something like that. So let's say I'm gonna change this new data from new data to no new data, save, and if the user simply click loads, it gets updated like this. The students can see only the date and the content. It doesn't have any other accessibility for now. And for your information, you can't upload any file to your LMS right now because we haven't got the time to implement that feature on our existing project. All right, so I'm sorry for that. And let me show you something different. Let me simply change the course name, and this is the course section. If I simply load, so this is the data, and let's say the student is also trying to go to different section. Here the student also gets the updated data, and let's say I'm gonna delete this complete assignment here, and if I simply load it, the complete assignment gets deleted. And if I also, let's say, change the HW 5.6 to something like HW 9.5, and I'm simply gonna add updated just to show you whether it's working or not. Save, and if I simply load again, you see it's getting updated, so it works perfectly. And now let me show you the chat section. Here for the chat purpose, I have used the TCP IP socket, and yeah, let me simply close the faculty course view right now, and I can simply open my faculty LMS. Here I can open the chat from here and from here as well. If I simply click here, the chat server get opened from the faculty's panel, and the faculty can start the chat server and the student can go to the chat server. Let's say my name is Fahim. I'm simply clicking on login, and the faculty can also see which user have accessed the chat server in real time. You'd also get the event log. Let's say I'm messaging something like this. The faculty can also see those messages. And let's say, let me simply show you whether multiple students can log into the same chat server in real time. Obviously they can. Let me simply open another student classroom from here. Here, this is another student instances, and here this student can also log in to this chat server. Let's say Israt, login, and let me show you all the chat windows side by side. So here you see this type of sky colored chat server is the chat server from the faculty's end, and this type of orange colored chat clients are from the student side. Here the faculty can also see which users have connected, the users can also see which users have connected, and they can message from their end. Let's say hey Fahim, let's say hey Israt. You see, all of them is getting updated in the real time. And the faculty can also create the event log. The log gets exported here. In the Excel file, you can see which users have connected in which time and when they left or something like that. The user, if any user simply log out from the server, you see the user has getting disconnected. And the user can again log in. You see all of them in the real time. All right. So, and if the faculty simply stop the chat server, all of them would get disconnected as the server is closed right now. So that's how the faculty can manage the chat server. All right. And this is actually all of the things we have currently in our project. And if I simply show you the project structure, the project structure is something like this. This is my IDE settings, and this is the Maven wrapper, and this was the earlier file storage, but we don't use that. We use the file storage from our class file directory, like for admin, file storage admin, like this. And in this resources folder, we have all of those resources like the front-end data, XML file, PNG, GIF, then JPEG files and CSS files, all of them. And in the outside resources folder, we have our databases, and this is my this is our SQL file, and this is our project configuration in our pom.xml. So let me simply wrap up our project. Although we have prepared or planned some new features to implement on our project, we haven't been able to do that within the time. Like we were supposed to implement the quiz feature, which was indeed an essential feature of our LMS desktop, but we failed to do so for getting very short amount of time. And the backend part, it has been restructured within the last 1 or 2 days, and we have recompiled all of those backend data within 1 or 2 days, as I have just told you. So therefore it was a tremendous long thing to do for us, as the time was short, but I'm glad that we have been able to implement a lot of things. Even though we didn't manage to complete the entire thing, we have been able to implement the things we had in our project before adding those things like quiz application or something like that. And this is our team member, me. I am the team leader, Mr. Jahan Khan, who worked at the front end. Basically, Sifat, Ullah, Adnan, who worked in front end and back end with us. So we are the team trio. And thank you everyone for watching. Have a good day.